What's going on, guys? On today's episode of Ralph's Real Review, I'm going to be making a Wolfman review at midnight, even though I don't like scary movies because they keep me up at night. This is going to be great. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our up-to-date reviews, but for now, let's get into it. Wolfman starts with our protagonist he's just our agonist. But his name is Blake, and we see in the beginning of the movie that it's just him and his dad in this house in the woods. They go hunting, and both of them see a Wolfman. Title. Fast forward 30 years, and Blake is all grown with a family of his own when he gets the news that his dad was presumed dead. Wonder what happened to him. Blake decides to take his daughter Ginger, who he is very close with, and his wife Charlotte, who is played by Julia Gardner, but I cannot stop calling her Justina Timberlake in this movie. He takes them to the woods in order to collect his dad's stuff when, spoiler alert, there is a Wolfman. The family must now survive the night, but the question is, where is the danger really? We'll start with the runtime being pretty much perfect. I didn't feel that there was too much or too little with this movie. It does what it needs to do and then it gets out of there, which I appreciated because I had a double feature tonight. For the record, I am not a horror guy at all, but there's like some genres I can handle in a horror, and this one felt right up my alley, right? Like demonic and devil stuff. You will not see me watching that ever. Stuff that is too gory or realistic feeling, like a Saw, I won't watch that. There are some slashers I can watch, but not all of them. Like I can get through a Halloween movie or two, but not Nightmare on Elm Street. Really, it comes down to the premise. I came to see this movie for two main reasons. First is that it kind of is the first big real release of 2025, so I felt like I couldn't miss it. But also, it was a horror movie I felt I could handle. And secondarily, with the Universal Epic opening their Dark Universe section of the park, I figured that this could be a starting point toward that shared monster universe that they teased forever ago. I'm not closing the door on that possibility, however, I will say, without spoiling anything, that itch was left unscratched by this movie. So if that's something you're looking forward to, don't. I can't say this movie is scary, especially for horror fans. A general rule of thumb is if I can get through it, then it's not that bad. There is some serious gore at points, but it's not the goriest movie I've ever seen. The thing this movie does best is that it feels like a modern take on a classic horror movie. The makeup felt practical. I don't know that it is, but it felt real and not CGI. The premise is pretty simple, and there's not too much twists that blow your socks off. You get essentially what you came for. There is a Wolfman, and you're trying to figure out who dies. One of the bright spots of this movie is that there is a touching family story. You feel the relationship between Blake and his daughter, and you feel the distance between Charlotte and her entire family until she absolutely has to be present. There does seem to be some fatherly subtext in this movie, although I'm not sure if it is fully realized as an idea. Blake does make a comment pretty early in the movie about sometimes parents try to protect their kids so hard that they end up being the thing that scars them. This could be seen as a callback to his relationship with his own father, as he was pretty rough on Blake, saying that it was in the name of keeping him safe, but it also feels like there was some pretty obvious foreshadowing for the events to come in this movie. If the movie really is an allegory for overparenting, then I'm not sure what the full message is because the way the movie ends really doesn't lend itself to that type of meaning, but I'm also kind of dumb, so maybe it just went right over my head. Overall, this movie really didn't do anything exceptional besides modernize an old property and give a respectable nod to the films of yesteryear. I really feel like there was an intentional effort to make this feel like old and new at the same time. I do think that the movie, while unexceptional, is entertaining enough to hold your attention, and I definitely think seeing it in IMAX enhanced the experience. So, since this is my first real review, I want y'all to know I don't really do the star thing, the star rating. I do a slight variation of it. Essentially, I'm trying to tell you if a movie is something you must see in theaters, something you should see in theaters, something you should wait to see on streaming, something that is really for a niche audience, or if it is something that is completely skippable. I'm also adding a little half tier for movies just like this one, where I would say that you should watch it in theaters given a specific caveat, right? That could be you have a movie pass like I do. I have AMC A-List, and they should sponsor me because I've been a member since it came out in 2019. Or I don't know if it came out in 2019. That's how long I've had it. Or I would tell you maybe you should see something in theaters if you're looking for a specific type of movie. This is a movie that you should see in theaters given you have a movie pass already. It's a fine movie. It's not exceptional. Most people will be fine waiting for streaming, but if you have A-List or Regal Unlimited, then it is worth getting the theater experience for this movie. That's going to do it for today's review, guys. Please like this video if you found it helpful on whether or not you should go see Wolfman in theaters. I'm trying to reach 500 subs on YouTube by the end of the calendar year, so if you could hit that subscribe button while you're down there, it would really help a whole lot, and I would love to invite you into our growing community of movie lovers and discussers. I'm also available on TikTok at Ralph's Rapid Review, where I post a 1-minute bite-sized version of these reviews, and I'm trying to reach 1,000 followers on there. As I said, this was a double feature for me. I also watched One of Them Days, so if you're interested in my thoughts on that movie, you can watch it now. I'm going to have both of those really uploading at the same time. Let me know in the comments, guys. Have you seen Wolfman? Do you plan on seeing Wolfman? What are your thoughts? But until next week, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.